Hello my lovelies, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, hi, my name is Mary and I give you an extra warm welcome. I would love it if you grabbed a snack, stayed for a while and click the subscribe button. I would love to have you. And if you're a returning viewer, thank you so much for coming back. I appreciate you more than you know. So as you can tell by the title of the video, today we're going to talk about what I wish makeup brands would do differently. I feel like we are all just so overwhelmed with all of the new makeup releases and are kind of tired of brands just giving us the same old. And I'm talking about just about all the brands. So I decided to come up with a list of just things that I wish brands would change or maybe do instead. And I thought it would be interesting to talk about those things and possibly see if any of you agree with what I have to say. So I'll be doing my makeup along while we talk, almost like a get ready with me. Okay, let's get started with this video. Okay, primers are already on. I went into my Wet n Wild serum. Finally finished this little one size secure the blur. It's all done. Liked it. I'm going to use up a couple of my other primers and then I'll purchase a full size because I actually really enjoyed this. I think it's going to be perfect for summer. And then the Makeup Forever Hydra Boost for the perimeters of my face. I did order the Biba palette from Natasha Denona. It's supposed to be a neutral palette. I received a like 20% off code in an email. I'm not sure why, but I decided to take advantage of the 20% off because this palette has been out of stock at Sephora, I think since the last VIB sale, and I couldn't purchase it. So 20% off too, which is nice. Okay, we're going to jump into the Merit foundation sticks. I have two shades. I'll link everything down below in case I don't remember to mention it. I have Buff and Linen, one's too dark, one's too light. Yeah, I have a list here of things I wish companies would do differently. I forget who I saw talk about this in one of their, it might have been Angelica Nyqvist. She has such great ideas and it made me start thinking a lot just about things that I wish brands would do different, you know? And the very first one I have here on my list is to not have so many makeup releases. Do you all remember back in the day when we used to look forward to makeup releases? There would only be like 2, maybe 3 per makeup brand a year. Do you remember that? Like, we anticipated it. We saved for it. We like would wait and literally sit there and ask, when is this brand going to release something new? When was the last time you remember saying that about any brand? I mean, I know there are some indie brands that don't release as often, say like Lunar Beauty, or I feel like Sigma doesn't release stuff all that often. Like, there are brands that still don't pop out releases left and right, but I honestly wish they would keep it to like 2 or 3 releases a year, because if every brand did that, then maybe we would actually get the chance to use up the product. So many of us don't have like a normal makeup collection and we have too much, and with all the stuff that keeps being released, we don't have the time to enjoy our older products that are actually really good. If they like all kind of got on the same page and only did 2 or 3 releases a year, then that would just be great. Okay, I am going to jump into the new Natasha Denona concealer. I have really been enjoying this. It's actually a really good concealer. I think Miss Natasha knocked it out of the park with this. I don't know if I've heard too many negative reviews, and I feel like those who didn't like aren't enjoying it the way that I am. They feel like it's too heavy, and that's why. Which, like, even though the formula is super lightweight, it's still a pretty like heavy concealer, and it can look heavy and cakey if you're not careful with how much you apply. So I can definitely see where those creators are coming from when it comes to that. Okay, this next point there's actually a brand that did this, and when they did this, I asked myself,
why don't more brands do this?
Give us a calendar of the upcoming releases. I'm not saying tell us exactly what is going to be released, but maybe let us know when they are coming. I feel like a lot of people live paycheck to paycheck. And when a surprise launch, especially when it's like one of your favorite brands, happens, I'm sure it just ruins financial plans. And that's when people decide, oh, well, let me use my credit card, which you should never use your credit card to buy something. If you don't have the money, don't purchase it. That's always been my motto. Well, not always, but my husband and I, we've agreed on that. Like, if we don't have the money, we're not going to purchase it, because you shouldn't. If you don't have the money, don't get it, you know? Sorry, I thought I was filming. I went into the Charlotte Tilbury contour wand, but I was saying that I feel if brands would give us a calendar of the upcoming releases, we would be able to actually plan financially and possibly actually pick up more of the launches than we already do, because you get the time to plan for it and not use your credit card. Again, if you have to use a credit card to buy something, don't do it. If you don't have the money, do not purchase it. You do not need to be putting money into your credit card to get something. That's just not.
No.
All right, Refi Beauty Cream Bronzer. These are just ideas that I thought about long and hard that would just make the consumers time, or it would just make it easier to actually purchase new launches, you know? And again, I would love to hear your 2 cents if you agree. I just feel like we were so focused there for a minute on sell, sell, sell that we've really lost track of reality, you know? Inflation is getting worse by the minute. We went to the grocery store, I think it was last week. It's Saturday today, and we spent $500. I can only imagine how much higher that's going to get once my kiddos are older. And it's like, who has the money to be spending $500 a week on groceries? That's just groceries. That's not including mortgage. That's not including a car payment. That's not including utility bills. That's not including everything else that comes along with life. I feel like giving us access to a calendar on when we can expect launches from the brand would just help us out in planning financially without kind of forcing us to purchase with a credit card, which is technically money that you don't have. And I would never encourage anyone to do that. Credit cards serve a purpose. It's very easy to forget what that purpose is, and it's to build your credit. If you don't have the money to pay that bill off right away, I honestly don't think you should have a credit card, but that's conversation for a whole other day. Okay, sorry, I forgot to press film. My twins are supposed to be napping. I think they're very close to not nap anymore, and I'm not ready. So I did set my under eyes, and I used my Makeup Forever pressed powder in Ivory, and then I did jump into this cream blush in Cork from Milk Makeup. Now I'm going to powder the rest of my face. I'm going to jump into the Dominique Cosmetics for my T-zone and the Laura Mercier for the rest of my face. Honestly, I just am extra because I have so much makeup and I'm just trying to use all of it, most of it. And so that means I have to be extra and use 2 powders for the rest of my face and a completely different powder for my under eyes. And Huda Beauty, I don't think I mentioned. Huda Beauty is the brand that had to give us a little calendar of all of the upcoming releases for this year, because I believe what happened was somebody leaked one of their launches and they were just kind of tired and over it, like over these people, and taking away the element of surprise that they decided to release the calendar for the rest of the year of what's to be expected from the brand, which I feel like a lot of people were up for it and were excited that they did that, because now they could plan, especially if they're a big Huda Beauty fan, now they can plan around the calendar that they provided. And I felt like when I saw that, I thought to myself, all brands should do that, you know, but just with less makeup releases. Okay, we're going to jump into eyes already. Here she is. I've been wanting this palette for quite some time now. My carrier must have been really rough with it because I haven't used it, and look at how dirty it is. And then this shade here, I did have to press down just a tiny bit. It is a cream to powder formula, so hopefully it doesn't fall out, but this, I definitely won't be able to travel with this palette. It's supposed to be an all neutral palette. I don't know. I feel like the Glam palette is more of a neutral palette than this one, but I don't know. You let me know down below. Let's start with Seed, this shade right here. Okay, the next one, I feel like we all are probably going to agree with it. I went into my ColourPop, what is it? Party Proof Eye Base, and this is like a little Natasha Denona brush. The next one is, I wish that makeup brands would stop releasing the same exact thing all at the same time. Because like recently, what, 3-4 brands released but bronzers, powdered bronzers. And now it seems like everybody is releasing blushes, and it's like the same thing over and over. Cream blushes, powders, highlighters. Like, I wish they would stop releasing the same thing at the same time. That could just be me. It gets boring, you know, like you get burnt out of the same thing over and over. There's so many, you know, coral blushes that you can review. There's just so many before you're just like, okay, I'm kind of over this. I don't want to touch or purchase another blush.
In like 6 or 7, 8 months.
You know? Okay, that's what that shade is looking like. Now I'm going to jump into this shade here, Buff. And it's another one of her little small brushes. Okay, I would love to know if you are agreeing with some of these so far. I just feel like a shift, just like a shift is happening with YouTube content creators. I feel like a shift needs to happen with makeup beauty brands. I feel like they all need to change things up, because I feel like interest in makeup in general is kind of dying down. I would hate to see that, you know, because I love makeup. It is almost like my therapy. When I sit here and film and put makeup on with you all, it seriously is almost like having a therapy session with you all, you know? Just get all my well, not all of them, but most of my frustrations out. And it's like my sanctuary. I feel like more people are now interested in just beauty content where instead of focusing on new releases, we're bringing out old makeup, and just the consumers aren't buying as much as they were, say, 3 years ago, 4 years ago, 5 years ago. Okay, I'm going to jump into Prairie, that pretty mustardy shade. Freckle is pretty too, but I want to use Prairie. Okay, the next one, I have my notes here on my phone. Okay, so this one I feel is a very important one, and I feel like there's quite a few brands that can work on this. I'm going to jump into this little small fluffy Charlotte brush. If brands who need to work on their shade range would focus on that instead of bringing us new product. There are some brands that don't have a proper foundation range. There are some brands that don't have a proper concealer range. There are some brands that don't have a proper bronzer range. Like, if instead of bringing us new products, they would focus on bringing us proper shade ranges, I feel that would go over well so much better. Because when it comes to holy grail products, if somebody finds that perfect shade, they are going to keep repurchasing that product. And that's what you want. You want the consumers to come back. You don't just want to make a quick sale. Like, you want all of the consumers to come back and keep purchasing, because that's how you make money. And if some of these brands would actually focus on the shade range versus bringing us new products, I think they would be much more successful and they would probably make a greater impact on the beauty community and the consumers themselves. Yeah, it like sometimes baffles me how some of these brands haven't thought of that and just focused on that. Okay, I went into my trusty NYX glitter glue, and do you see that? I'm so proud of myself. I've like been really using makeup up and it's so satisfying. Okay, I think I'm going to jump into Monroe, the lightest shimmer in the palette. So this palette is very matte heavy and there's only 3 shimmers. Yep, see, there it goes. There's the black. Well, the black just fell out of its pan. So annoying. I mean, it is what it is. Luckily, I don't use black too often. And it's a cream to powder. Yeah, I won't be traveling with this palette at all. I'm going to jump into the lightest shimmer shade, which is Monroe. Let me clean my fingers because I had to press that black in. Okay, and like I mentioned, I put glitter glue on. I think I want this eye look to be like bright in the inner corner. So I'm gonna go lightly with that shimmer. If any more instances happen, like I might have to contact Natasha Denona and be like, hey, like, this palette is falling apart. Okay, I went ahead and just finished my eye look. I'm getting annoyed with I just don't want another shade to break on that palette. I'm too worried about the palette not falling apart. But this eye look is beautiful. It reminds me of a sunset kind of sorta. I'm just annoyed with the palette. Okay, so focus on packaging that makes sense instead of like fancy packaging. I feel like some of these brands focus too much on the aesthetics, on just like the experience of the product, but forget to focus on the quality of the product. I'm going to jump into this Guerlain Terracotta Light Bronzer. This smells like my mom and my grandma.
I love this smell. I
just feel like even though, yes, packaging can be a very luxurious and an experience, I do agree with that, but I feel like sometimes it's not necessary or needed, because for some of these makeup brands, the packaging can cost quite a pretty penny, and that's why the price has to go up of the product. So say you do that and then you purchase it and it's like, well, the product is shit, but the packaging is beautiful. It's like, well, then what was the point, you know? So I feel like some brands need to just take a step back. Don't focus so much on the pretty packaging and actually focus on releasing a good product, because that is what's going to leave the lasting impression, the good product and not the pretty packaging. I hope that makes sense. Okay, I went ahead and did my eyebrows and mascara off camera. I used the Give Beauty eyebrow pencil. It's not like the precise mini one. And then Rose Inc and Rare Beauty for the mascaras.
Both of these great.
Just mix them up. Now we're going to jump into the Armani blush. This is in the shade 40. I forget the name, but it's like that pretty red one. The next one is to give us educational videos of the products that they are releasing. I feel like Makeup by Mario and Patrick Ta are pretty good with this. All the other brands I feel need to follow suit, because sometimes something is released and we don't even know how they not meant, because honestly, like, you test out a makeup product and you make it work as best you can for yourself. So I'm not saying that the way they say to use it is the only way to use it, but it would help if we had an idea of how they suggest that you use it. So I feel like if every brand would just do some educational videos on the products that they're releasing, that would help out so so many people, especially those who are just dipping into makeup, you know, make it less intimidating and more probable for just a regular consumer to purchase your product, especially if it's one that's like supposed to be an innovative kind of product. I forget what YouTuber I heard mention that, and I thought to myself, that is such a good idea. If makeup brands would do that, I feel like more people would be more prone to actually purchasing the new items that they are releasing. And I think it is such a good point, and more makeup brands need to do this. Makeup by Mario, like I said, Patrick Dodd does it. Wayne Goss, when he also launches stuff, he also does it. So I just feel like if all the brands got on board with this, it would help out their sales so much more. Because I feel like sometimes a product can be scary, and that's why it turns certain consumers off from actually purchasing it. But if you go on the Sephora website and you're looking at the product and there's an educational video on there of the product, that would just be absolutely amazing, right? Okay, and last but certainly not least, and I feel it's the most important one, for makeup companies to stop having viral content creators showcasing their products and use normal average people to showcase them. This one I feel like is a lot more relatable as far as a consumer. Like if you were to see normal average day-to-day people that go to work and, you know, their job isn't to be an influencer, using a product, showcasing it, wouldn't you be more inclined to purchasing it than seeing someone who, obviously being a makeup content creator is their career and that's all they do all day, every day of the week? I feel like if I was just an average, you know, 35-year-old going to work and I saw someone that I can relate to showcasing a new makeup product, I would be like, oh, well, if she can use that, I can use that. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. This is the Victoria Beckham Lip Definer in 03. I decided to pull this out and put my Refined Beauty away and just kind of alternate a different lip liner. I just feel like, number one, I hate the word viral. I hate it. I hate TikTok. I hate TikTok. I'm sorry, I do. And I'm so sick and tired of people using that word viral. It is so annoying because they're using it and the product isn't even going viral. Honestly, with everything going viral, like viral shouldn't even be a word anymore because apparently everything is going viral now these days. So is it really viral if everything is going viral? No, it's not. Okay, my lovelies, I am not 100% sure what happened to the sound, so I'm doing a voiceover. I went into the Charlotte Tilbury lipstick in Very Victoria, and I also went into the Rare Beauty lip oil, even though I don't think it's a lip oil. It's more of a lip tint that has a tiny bit of shine when you first apply it, and it goes fairly quick. So yeah, they probably need to change the name of this product. Apologies again for the mic. Okay, my lovelies, this eye look is so pretty. I am enjoying this palette, but I'm so annoyed because I feel like it's falling apart. That black one fell out, and then this one's a little bit broken, and yeah, but the shades in here are really nice. Definitely shades I would use a lot. I won't be able to travel with this palette, but it's fine because she has mini ones that are probably better for travel anyways, but it's not like I'm going anywhere, so that doesn't even matter. Okay, well, I hope you enjoyed this video. I had so much fun talking about this stuff. I feel I didn't even get to finish my last point because that footage is not usable since it has no audio. But what my main point was that I feel makeup brands should probably include some normal, regular 9-to-5 people from time to time when they're campaigning for something, instead of just using influencers that, you know, we feel like the intentions aren't 100% pure all of the time. That was basically the point I was trying to make. Like, it needs to be talked about in the beauty community, you know? I don't want you to think that I'm like in the whole YouTube content creator mindset and the being a consumer myself, like that mindset's going away. It's not. I still think like a consumer, at least I feel like I do. And I feel like those are definitely points that some of you might actually be thinking about. And again, like I mentioned, if there are any that I didn't mention that you feel like sharing, go ahead and comment them down below. I would love to hear from you all. This makeup came out so pretty. That blush, like you would never think that I put on a red blush, right? Just from looking at my cheek, like you would never think. I did purchase True Pink from Gucci, one of the 3 new shades. As soon as that comes in, I'll go ahead and test it out for you all, and then I'll be comparing that Gucci formula with this Armani formula and just see which one I prefer in case you are on the fence for either one and can't purchase both. Okay, well that's going to conclude this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I definitely did. Anytime I sit down and do my makeup with you all, it truly is the best. You have no idea how much I enjoy it and I appreciate it. Okay, my lovers, well, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate every single one of you. You have no idea, all the comments, all the likes. If you use my links to shop, it all truly means the world to me. You just being here, watching my video, and hitting that like button is the best, just the best. And I appreciate it. And I appreciate every single one of you. Okay, well, with that being said, I would love it if you gave this video a big thumbs up. I would greatly appreciate it, and you would definitely help me out in the algorithm of hopefully bringing some new and fresh eyes to my channel. And if you haven't done so already, I would love it if you joined my small YouTube family by clicking the subscribe button. I would love to have you. Okay, I will see you on the next video. Bye!